Part 1, your gut is talking. Are you listening? You eat your veggies, you avoid junk food. You sip water throughout the day. But somehow, your stomach still feels heavy. You're still bloated after meals, you're doing everything right, but your gut just won't cooperate. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. One of the most common frustrations among health-conscious people is this: I eat clean, but my digestion feels off. And the hidden reason: it's often not what you eat, it's how and in what order you eat it. In this episode of Eat in the Right Order, we're going deep into your gut literally and figuratively. We'll uncover how the sequence in which you eat food can influence bloating, sluggish digestion, and even the health of your gut microbiome. We're not talking about pills, probiotics, or fancy supplements. We're talking about something simpler: eating in the right order to support your digestive fire, microbiome balance, and overall gut harmony. Let's begin. Your gut, more than just digestion. We often think of the gut as a food processing machine. You eat gives, it breaks things down, gives nutrients, are absorbed. But your gut is so much more than that. It's your second brain, containing over 100 million neurons. It produces over 90% of your body's serotonin, the feel-good neurotransmitter. It houses 70% of your immune system, and yet, it's one of the most delicate systems in your body, easily overwhelmed by stress, sugar, poor sleep, and yes, eating in the wrong sequence. Your gut is constantly sending you signals. That bloated feeling after a carb-heavy lunch? A cry for support? That sluggishness after dinner? A hint your digestion was overloaded? That gurgling or gas hours later? Possibly food fermenting in the wrong order. The problem isn't always the food. Sometimes the order creates the imbalance. Your digestive system operates in stages: priming, breaking down, absorbing, and eliminating. When foods arrive in the wrong sequence, the entire chain reaction can be disrupted. For example, fiber helps cleanse and prepare the digestive lining, protein requires ample stomach acid, and carbs digest quickly, but if they arrive first, they can dominate and ferment too soon. The result: slower digestion, gas buildup, and a tired, bloated feeling. The surprising story of Maya. Maya is 34, works as a yoga instructor, and eats mostly plant-based. She avoids fried food, cooks at home, and drinks herbal tea every evening. Still, by 3 p.m. most days, she's bloated, uncomfortable, tired. Doctors told her everything was normal, but she didn't feel normal. After journaling her meals and symptoms, she noticed a pattern. She often started meals with rice or sweet potatoes. Veggies came second door, not at all. Fruit was eaten before her main course. She switched things up. Started every meal with a handful of cooked greens or salad. Added protein before carbs. Saved fruit for after meals or had it solo as a snack. Within days, her bloating decreased. Within weeks, her energy improved. She didn't change what she ate, only how she layered it. Now, instead of feeling bloated and sluggish, Maya feels nourished and light. And that's the power of food order. It doesn't ask you to eat less, just to eat more wisely. Why order matters for digestion: your body digests different foods at different speeds. Fiber and leafy greens stimulate digestive enzymes and prepare the gut. Protein requires strong stomach acid and slows down digestion slightly, in a good way. Simple carbs digest quickly and spike blood sugar when eaten first. When you start a meal with fiber, you create a cushion in your digestive tract that slows glucose absorption, reduces gas, and prepares your body to break down what's coming next. But when you start with refined carbs or even fruit, blood sugar spikes, fermentation begins too early. Gut bacteria feast too fast. This can lead to bloating, gas, food lingering too long in the stomach or gut, even imbalances in gut flora. Supporting research backs this up. A study published in Clinical Nutrition found that participants who consumed vegetables before carbohydrates had significantly lower post-meal glucose and fewer digestive complaints. Another study in Frontiers in Nutrition suggested that food sequencing directly influences gastric emptying and digestive comfort. In short, eating the right foods in the wrong order can feel like you're digesting chaos. So if you're doing all the right things, eating clean, choosing whole foods but still feel discomfort, it may be time to shift not your ingredients, but your sequence. In the next section, we'll walk through the journey of a meal, what happens inside your gut, step by step, and how food order shapes the entire experience from first bite to final absorption. Let's keep going. Part 2, the journey of a meal. What happens inside your digestive tract? Let's slow things down for a moment. Imagine you're sitting down to eat. Maybe it's a warm dinner with rice, veggies, and grilled tofu. Or a cozy bowl of oatmeal with fruit and seeds in the morning. It looks healthy, it smells wonderful, but what happens after that first bite? Let's follow your food step by step through your digestive system and explore how the order in which you eat those foods shapes everything from nutrient absorption to bloating and energy. Step 1, the mouth, where digestion begins but often gets skipped. Digestion doesn't start in the stomach, it starts in your mouth. As you chew, enzymes in your saliva, especially amylase, begin breaking down carbohydrates. Chewing also signals your stomach, pancreas, liver, and intestines to get ready. Think of it like a conductor raising the baton before the orchestra begins. But here's the problem, most of us rush through chewing, especially when we're hungry or distracted. And if the first thing we put in our mouths is a piece of bread, pasta, or rice, those fast-digesting carbs dissolve quickly and rush ahead of the digestive system's prep. The result, carbs flood the system before enzymes and acids are fully activated, increasing the chance of fermentation and bloating later on. Solution: start your meal with something crunchy and fibrous like lightly cooked vegetables or salad. Not only do these foods stimulate chewing, but their fiber content also signals your gut to start the full digestive cascade. Step 2, the stomach, sorting and breaking down. Once food reaches your stomach, it encounters a highly acidic environment. This acid, hydrochloric acid (HCl), is essential for breaking down proteins, killing harmful microbes, and preparing nutrients for absorption. The stomach acts like a sorting station. Carbs pass through fairly quickly, protein needs more time, and acid. Fiber helps regulate movement and volume. Here's where food order comes in. If you eat a big bowl of rice or fruit first, these carbs move quickly into your stomach and onto your small intestine, while the protein and fat lag behind. But protein needs a longer stay in the stomach to be properly broken down. If you eat carbs first and fast, your stomach doesn't fully engage its acid production, thinking, "Oh, this is a light, quick meal." Then when heavier foods arrive next, like protein or fat, the acid levels may not be strong enough. That's when things go wrong. Protein sits too long, gives fermentation, gas, discomfort. Undigested food moves into the intestines, gives inflammation, microbial imbalance. You feel full, tired, and heavy even after a healthy meal. Solution: eat fiber and protein first, so your stomach is primed and strong when the carbs arrive. Let your stomach know this is a real meal, get ready. Step 3, the small intestine, absorption and communication. Your small intestine is where the magic happens. Enzymes from your pancreas break down carbs, proteins, and fats. Bile from your liver emulsifies fats for absorption. Nutrients get absorbed through the intestinal wall and enter your bloodstream. But the small intestine is also delicate and timing sensitive. If carbs arrive too early, unbalanced and undigested, they can trigger blood sugar spikes, and worse, feed the wrong bacteria, especially if gut flora is already imbalanced. Here's the science. When food is eaten in the right order, starting with fiber gives protein, gives carbs, the absorption of glucose is slowed down. This results in fewer insulin spikes, less inflammation, more stable energy, better gut motility. Research highlight: a 2015 study in diabetes care found that eating vegetables before carbohydrates significantly reduced post-meal glucose and insulin levels in people with type 2 diabetes. The researchers noted improved satiety and less bloating, too. Step 4. The large intestine, the microbiome playground. After absorption in the small intestine, what's left mostly fiber, water, and waste moves into the large intestine colon. Here lives your gut microbiome, trillions of bacteria that help ferment fiber into short-chain fatty acids, SCFAs, produce vitamins like B12 and K2, modulate immunity, communicate with your brain. These microbes thrive on diversity and balance, but when we eat in a chaotic order or overload the gut with sugar and fast carbs early in a meal, we feed the wrong species. That's when gas, bloating, irregular bowel movements, and even mental fog can show up. But when we eat in a way that prioritizes slow digesting, fiber-rich foods first, we set the stage for balanced fermentation, avoid overgrowth of sugar-loving bacteria, support calm, regular digestion. It's not about perfection. It's about creating a sequence that matches your biology, not your cravings. A gentle visualization, the digestive cascade. Picture this. You begin your meal with warm sautéed greens and lemon. Gives your mouth waters, enzymes activate, gives the stomach prepares strong acid. Gives fiber, begins feeding your gut bacteria. Next, you eat some grilled salmon and avocado. Gives protein and healthy fats, slow digestion. Keep you full, gives blood sugar, stays stable. Finally, you enjoy a small bowl of quinoa or a few roasted sweet potatoes. Gives carbs are now digested gradually. Gives glucose is absorbed slowly. Your gut is calm. No gas, no crash, no confusion, just rhythm. Part 3. How food order affects digestion and bloating. Let's be honest, most people don't think twice about the order in which they eat. They sit down hungry, dig into what looks good, and eat until they're full. Seems harmless, right? But here's the subtle truth. The sequence in which you eat your food can either support digestion or sabotage it. Even if your ingredients are perfect, the order can make all the difference between lightness and heaviness, between clarity and fog, between ease and bloat. Let's break it down, layer by layer. Fiber first, preparing the path. Think of fiber, especially from vegetables, greens, or lightly cooked roots, as the welcome mat for your digestive system. When eaten first, fiber stimulates saliva and chewing, activating early-stage enzymes. Signals your stomach to produce acid in preparation. Slows gastric emptying in a balanced way, helping regulate blood sugar. Sweeps and lines the intestines, creating a smoother passage for what follows. But perhaps more importantly, fiber doesn't ferment too quickly. It stays relatively stable in the gut until it reaches the colon, where it feeds your good bacteria. Compare this with eating bread or fruit, first carbs that rapidly break down and feed gas-producing microbes when there's no buffer, real-world moment. Have you ever started lunch with white rice or a sandwich, only to feel bloated 30 minutes later even though you didn't overeat? That's fast carbs hitting your gut before your system is ready, triggering fermentation, gas, and pressure. Try this instead. Start your meal with a small bowl of sautéed greens with lemon, a few slices of cucumber and fennel with olive oil, warm veggie broth with herbs. You're not just eating vegetables, you're setting the tone for your entire digestive orchestra. Protein next, power with purpose. Once fiber has done its job, protein comes in like the conductor's baton, deepening the rhythm, bringing structure. Protein digestion requires strong stomach acid and more time. It activates specific enzymes like pepsin that break amino acids into usable fuel. But if you eat protein after a big surge of carbs or too close to dessert, you risk two key problems. 1. Your stomach acid may not be ready. 2. The food pile in your gut is already fermenting, competing for space and attention. Result: heavy stomach, meat sweats, or digestive fatigue. Lingering fullness that disrupts energy and mood. Real-life story: Jessica, a 42-year-old teacher, used to eat a smoothie with fruit and oats for breakfast, then have chicken and veggies later. She often felt bloated by mid-morning. When she flipped the order starting with boiled eggs and sautéed spinach, then having a small banana last, her bloating disappeared. And she didn't need a mid-morning snack. Try this: place protein in the middle of your meal. Let it anchor your digestion. Eggs, fish, chicken, legumes, or tempeh. Paired with cooked veggies or leafy greens. Seasoned with ginger, turmeric, or vinegar to enhance digestion. Your body will thank you with steadier energy and less internal heaviness. Carbs last, from spike to stability. Here's the part that most people resist, but also the part that changes everything. Eat your carbohydrates last. We're not saying to avoid them, we're saying sequence them wisely. Why carbs digest the fastest? When eaten first, they flood your bloodstream with glucose. They stimulate a quick insulin response, which can then crash. In the gut, they can ferment faster than proteins or fats, causing bloating if eaten too early. But when carbs come at the end of a meal after fiber and protein, the absorption is slower, more stable, gentler on your pancreas and your microbiome. Try this flow. 1. Start with cooked greens and a bit of fat, for example, olive oil or avocado. 2. Add your protein. 3. End with a modest portion of carbs. Oh, sweet potato, oh, rice, oh, quinoa, oh, or even fruit. Not only will you feel lighter after eating, but you'll also stay full longer and avoid the blood sugar roller coaster. The bloating connection explained. So, why does wrong sequencing cause so much gas, pressure, and discomfort? Here's what's happening inside. Carbs eaten first gives digest rapidly, gives ferment if delayed. Protein eaten second sits heavy on top of the carb layer, gives digestion slows. Result equals gas trapped beneath heavier food, gives bloating, belching, and even reflux. Your body says, I'm trying to digest, but everything's out of line. And bloating isn't just physical, it affects your posture, your focus, your mood, your confidence in your body. But the solution isn't restriction, it's rhythm. The 5-minute reset, a simple daily ritual. If changing your full meal structure feels overwhelming, try this. Before each meal, eat a small amount of veggies. Wait 5 minutes, then eat the rest. It sounds simple, but the impact is real. It gives your stomach acid time to activate. It starts peristalsis, the wave-like motion of digestion. It grounds your nervous system before the main intake. It changes your mental pacing from rush to ritual. Over time, this habit alone can reduce bloating, increase awareness of fullness, improve nutrient absorption, deepen your connection with food. Part 4. The gut microbiome, feeding the right bacteria in the right order. You've probably heard the term gut microbiome before, maybe in a podcast, a book, or even on a yogurt label. But what is it really, and how does the order in which you eat affect the trillions of microorganisms living in your gut? Let's break it down. Your microbiome, the ecosystem within, inside your digestive tract, especially in your large intestine, lives an entire universe home to over 100 trillion microorganisms, including bacteria, both good and bad, fungi and yeasts, viruses, many of them helpful, other microbes that affect metabolism, immunity, even your brain. This microbiome isn't passive, it plays an active role in digesting food your own body can't process, producing vitamins like B12 and K2, modulating your immune system, creating neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, influencing your weight, mood, and inflammation levels. Your microbiome is like a garden with some plants you want to grow, like helpful bifidobacteria, and some weeds you'd rather not, like Candida or gas-producing Clostridia. What determines which ones thrive? In large part, what you eat, and even more precisely how you eat it. Why food order matters for microbiome health. We often talk about the type of foods that feed good bacteria. Prebiotic fibers from plants, polyphenols from colorful fruits and vegetables, resistant starches from cold potatoes or green bananas. But here's what we don't always hear. The order in which you eat those foods determines how well they nourish your microbiome. When you start meals with fiber, especially soluble fiber like that in okra, carrots, zucchini, or otsu, slow the movement of food through your digestive tract. Create a gel-like barrier in the intestines that improves nutrient absorption. Regulate fermentation by coating the gut lining first. Allow friendly bacteria to feast on prebiotic material gradually, but when fiber comes after sugar, starch, or ultra-processed carbs, the harmful bacteria may already be active, feeding, multiplying, fermenting, and by the time your fiber arrives, it's too late to regain control. This often leads to gas and bloating, unpredictable digestion, weakened gut barrier, leaky gut, cravings for more sugar because sugar-loving bacteria signal your brain. The microbial chain reaction. Let's imagine two different versions of the same dinner. Scenario 1, out of order. You start with bread and olive oil, then move on to pasta with tomato sauce. A small salad on the side, but you eat it last. Here's what happens. Sugar and starch hit the gut quickly, gives insulin spikes. Gut bacteria feed rapidly on the carbs, gives gas, pressure. By the time fiber comes in, fermentation is already in full swing. Bloating begins by dessert. Scenario 2, smart sequence. You start with a light soup made from leeks and carrots, a small salad with olive oil and lemon. Then enjoy grilled chicken or tofu with steamed broccoli. Finish with a little quinoa or sweet potato. Here's what changes. Fiber slows glucose absorption. Prebiotic veggies coat the gut lining. Protein helps stabilize energy. Carbs digest gently at the end. Good bacteria are fed consistently and calmly. Result: no bloating, no crash, just clarity and comfort. Microbiome diversity and food rhythm. Studies show that people who eat a wide range of plant foods 30 plus per week tend to have greater microbiome diversity. But rhythm matters too. When meals are eaten chaotically, skipping breakfast, snacking late, overeating after fasting, it stresses the microbiome. Bacteria rely on regular meal patterns. Natural fasting windows, for example, 12 hours overnight. Predictable fiber intake early in meals. And when this rhythm is respected, your microbiome becomes more stable, resilient, anti-inflammatory. A real story. Clara's transformation. Clara, 52, came to see her nutritionist with chronic bloating, brain fog, and sugar cravings despite eating clean. She started every day with fruit smoothies, ate lunch late, and often snacked on nuts or crackers throughout the afternoon. Her gut was out of sync. The nutritionist recommended starting each meal with cooked vegetables, adding protein second, saving fruit for dessert, or eating it solo, keeping a 12-hour overnight fast. Within 2 weeks, Claire's bloating reduced, her cravings vanished. And for the first time in years, she said, "I feel light after eating." What changed wasn't her food, it was her food order and gut rhythm. 5 gentle ways to feed the right bacteria in the right order. 1. Start with plant fiber at every meal. Gives think sautéed greens, lentil soup, or a raw salad with herbs. 2. Add colorful, polyphenol-rich foods next. Gives berries, purple cabbage, pomegranate seeds, turmeric. 3. Layer in protein and healthy fats. Gives beans, tempeh, eggs, salmon, avocado. 4. Finish with gentle, slow carbs. Gives quinoa, roasted roots, cooled rice. 5. Avoid eating sugar or fruit alone. Gives pair with fat or protein nor eat as dessert. Not the opening act. Final thought. Your gut bacteria are not just passengers, they're collaborators. Every bite you take sends a message, let's grow something healthy, or let's create chaos. The good news? You don't need perfection, just better rhythm. Start each meal with fiber, feed your bacteria with kindness, and trust that the gut you're nourishing will nourish you right back. Part 5. Summary and preview of Episode 8. Eat to boost energy. Your digestive system isn't just where food gets processed. It's a living, responsive part of your body, and it reflects how you eat, how you live, and how you care for yourself. In this episode, we explored something that often goes unnoticed: that the order in which you eat matters just as much as what you eat. You might be eating clean whole foods, home-cooked meals, lots of veggies, but if your food comes in the wrong sequence, you can still feel bloated, tired, or uncomfortable after meals. The good news, you don't need to change everything. Just begin by adjusting the flow of your meals to match how your body works best. What we've learned in this episode, starting with fiber activates digestion, supports blood sugar, and prepares your gut. Adding protein next helps keep you full, steady your energy, and avoid digestive heaviness. Finishing with carbs or fruit slows glucose absorption and reduces gas or fermentation. Getting the order right can ease bloating, improve nutrient absorption, and even support your gut microbiome. No diets, no rules, just a natural rhythm and a little more awareness. Where can you start? Begin each meal with a few bites of vegetables or a warm broth. Follow with protein, eggs, beans, tofu, fish, or meat. Save starches and fruit for the end of the meal. Slow down, chew well, and notice how your body feels afterward. These aren't big changes, but over time, they add up. You'll feel lighter, clearer, and more connected to your own digestion. Next up, Episode 8, Eat to Boost Energy. Do you often feel tired after meals? Sluggish in the afternoon, wired at night but foggy in the morning? In Episode 8, we'll explore how meal timing and food order can help you feel naturally energized all day long. You'll learn why energy dips happen and how food contributes, how to eat in sync with your body's natural rhythm, real-life strategies to fuel your energy without relying on caffeine or sugar. Final thought, your gut is always speaking. Sometimes it whispers through a little bloating. Sometimes it speaks louder through fatigue or discomfort. It's not a problem, it's a message. And when you respond with gentleness and small shifts in how you eat, your body knows exactly how to come back into balance.